guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm in a different setup today, but I'm actually really excited because I'm going to be doing the Arrow Season 5 commentary video, and I'm a month behind on this. I'm so late. Forgive me for that, but let's just go ahead and jump right into the first episode. I'm going to combine episodes 1 through 3 in one video and have it uploaded by episode 4 tonight. So these are just my opinions and things that I think about this type of thing. So let's get on right into it. Okay, so episode 1 is titled Legacy, and basically it starts off with the policeman ball, and Thea's kind of there taking up for Oliver and everything like that. And the captain kind of the detective captain, whatever, makes a joke saying, "Oh, who's Oliver handling tonight? The blonde? Is it redhead?" And she goes, "No, it's brunette," and actually it's Machen, or as some people know him as Anarchy. He's actually still alive, and I will insert the picture while I'm talking. He was actually the guy who Oliver stuck the arrow through his arm, or his wrist, or his hand, one of those three. So that's basically about that, and we learn in episode 1 that Oliver is not doing well as mayor. He's letting Thea kind of take everything, and he's just kind of being like, well, I'm the mayor as a day front, so I can be the Green Arrow at night, which isn't really working out for him since Thea is only 21, 22 years old. She can't necessarily take everything like that the way he can. And we also learn that when Oliver goes to visit Quentin Lance, or Laurel's father, he's passed out on his couch. He's been drinking again, and he kind of tells Oliver like, oh, Donna's in heaven, which at first kind of freaked, well, at least it freaked me out, but she's in Vegas, they're no longer together, and Oliver's just trying to get him out of this funk that he's in. He says, we'll come down to the ceremony for your daughter, Laurel, who was the Black Canary. Come down there and do this for her, and do those type of, just be there for the statue reveal, be there for her. She would want you to be there, she would want you to stop drinking, for one, and he says he's a drunk, and he's run out of reasons to stop drinking, which is actually really sad. So throughout the episode, we also see this wannabe vigilante running around in a hockey mask, and he's kind of, he's interfering with Oliver's missions, the Green Arrow's missions, and he's kind of getting in the way. It's almost causing people to get hurt, and Oliver just kind of, he really treats him almost the way he treated Roy, and he shot him in the left leg? It doesn't matter. He shot him in the leg while he was running away, and I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself with that. He basically tells him, he says, ice that, and he's like, ice what? And he shoots him in the leg with the arrow. That's what happens. But basically, we find out his name is Renee Ramirez, and Felicity and Curtis go looking for him. And what happens while he's looking for him, while Curtis is actually out looking for him, and Felicity's kind of directing him to see where to go, what starts to happen is Curtis gets beat up by whoever. We don't know if these are Ramirez's friends or anything like that. We just know Curtis gets beat up. And we also first meet one of the big bads of this season, which is Tobias Church. And Tobias Church actually kidnaps Oliver while he's at the thing for Laurel. He's talking about how amazing it was, the Black Canary, is the ADA, has all of those things. And Oliver tries to put up a fight at first, but doesn't really do it because, of course, it's going to reveal, like, oh, how can he fight? He doesn't do anything. But other than that, he just gives up, basically. And so while they're captured, I'm going to skip a little bit because I have to get all 3 of these in under a good amount of minutes. But he kind of skips. So after he's there, Speedy kind of comes to get Oliver. But when she shows up, she noticed that Oliver broke somebody's neck because, again, like in season 1, he said, you can't know my secret. Thea/Speedy tells him that the reason why he resorted back to killing is the same reason why she cannot be a vigilante anymore, at least not right now. Which, it's kind of sad because I kind of like seeing the brother the brother-sister dynamic between the two of them while they're out there fighting, because she seemed to really enjoy it in season 4, until of course she held an arrow to a little girl's neck and she realized, oh, that's not bloodlust, I'm really about to kill this little girl. But yeah, and of course we know Diggle, or John, whatever people call him, is back in the military, and he's really trying to deal with the fact I killed my brother, and everybody keeps telling him it was good cause, good reason, but he still feels like, I just killed my little brother, I need to do this, I need to do that. So he's going there and he's found himself. And so by the end of this episode, Oliver decides to he decides to start a new team, which I think is a good thing. And so they finally give the Hakim S vigilante a name, Wild Dog, which it's alright, but you know, after they finish, you know, doing that, and after Oliver finished getting mad and talking with Felicity and doing all these things, and even talks to Diggle, and Diggle even says, you know, hey, start a new team. Big whoop, you know. And the one thing I noticed, Felicity goes back to the loft, and I'm thinking that should be Oliver's place. I mean, I feel like I might overstep my boundaries, but like sibling right, I would say, because Thea originally bought it with her money from Malcolm's trust fund. But then Oliver lived there, and of course that's her brother. So I'm trying to figure out now, where does Oliver live? Where does Thea live? You know, where are they staying? But when Felicity gets to the loft, she's not there. She has a new boo thing for the season, as people like to call him and stuff like that, a new love interest. And I don't know, he doesn't really say too much in the episode. He just gives her a massage, she kisses his hand, and that's really all that you hear about it. And that's really it. So that is going to be it for episode 1. And now let's get into episode 2. Alright, so episode 2 is called The Recruits. And the recruits themselves are Evelyn Sharp, Curtis Hope, and Renee Ramirez. These are going to be the 3, you know, this is going to be the new team possibly. And it's already been confirmed for Curtis and Renee. So Curtis is going to be Mr. Terrific, and Renee Ramirez is going to be Wild Dog. My prediction for Evelyn Sharp is that I think that she is going to be Artemis, but I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's where they're going with this. Now, something that caught my eye this episode was when Curtis was talking to Felicity, and they were talking about the old team, and Curtis mentioned, he said, oh, the team members that are dead or presumed dead are, you know, off somewhere. And when he said presumed dead, they zoomed in on Laurel's outfit. So I don't know, that's a subliminal message or anything, but that possibly means Laurel might be coming back from the dead, possibly from Barry messing up the timeline over there on The Flash. Yeah. And Diggle is in Camp Braidwood, Latavia. I hope I got that right. I hope I got that right. He's going on a so-called recovery mission, but eventually we turn out that's not what it is. Well, we'll get to that later, but I want to go back to Wild Dog because he seems very arrogant with what he does. And you know, Oliver gave them a simple mission to do some reconnaissance, or just to be eyes and ears of this event that he was doing, and he doesn't, you know, he doesn't listen. And I remember he told Evelyn, he just kind of stood back and he's like, you know, he's talking about Oliver, and he's like, well, first of all, he ain't the boss of me, and never gonna be. And it's like dude, you signed on to be a part of a team. You signed on because you saw what he was doing, and that is what you saw. That's what you gravitated towards. And to have that type of mentality towards it at all is only going to end badly. It's not going to end well for anyone. I mean, it leads to disaster on and off, you know, the fighting stance. It just doesn't make sense to me. But at this same event, Quentin is supposed to be watching is it the 9th wing entrance or the 10th wing entrance? One of those two. And he shows up pretty much at the time the event is over. And Thea definitely points that out. She's like, you know, like, you were supposed to be here at this time. And at the time, she's really kind of scolding him. I guess Ragman, he doesn't really have a name. He just kind of comes in and attacks someone from Amber Tech, which is the company sponsoring this event. He's coming in, he just grabs and he throws her against the wall, and eventually, you know, they say he came through the entrance that Quentin was supposed to be watching. And Oliver keeps doing this on the line method with them. Each time he goes on with his recruits, he just goes on the line. Doesn't give him any explanation, just on the line. And they keep constantly getting beat up. And he says what he's telling them is that the purpose of this exercise is to figure out the purpose of the exercise, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And so after a while, they just kind of get sick of being beat up. And basically, I mean, well, there's no basically, all of them quit because they're tired of getting beat up. They're tired of getting verbally and mentally abused. Well, verbally, mentally, and physically abused by someone they don't know. They don't know who this is. They don't know the meaning of the exercise. And of course, after the other two members quit, I guess first Oliver explains that the purpose of that exercise was to work together as a team. And Curtis is really trying to tell Oliver, like, look, we can't work as a team because we don't even know who our team leader is. And eventually he just kind of schools Oliver in this short amount of time. He basically tells him, he's like, okay, look, we joined this because we wanted to be a part of something great. And, you know, he was telling them about how Speedy and Spartan and Canary and Overwatch / Felicity, all of them were a family and how they did things. And then Curtis just goes on to say, he's like, wait, they quit. And he just kind of like, he says he's not going to sit there and be treated that way either. So he's like, and I'm out too. And yes, I have notes because I knew I was going to forget. And well, Ragman gets spotted again, and Oliver really goes out of his way to help this type of vigilante. Well, this particular vigilante, and I don't understand why at first. And then of course he explains that he's the last surviving member of Haven Rock, which was the missile that Monument Point, but Felicity aimed it at Haven Rock. And so they both talk about Ragman and Oliver both talk about how their fathers sacrificed themselves, you know, to be a part of this team, and that's what they decided to do. And you know that there's nothing, I guess there's nothing to really say to that. And so he just kind of says, you know, hey, you know, come to so-and-so address and, you know, just let me help you. We can avenge both of our fathers by doing something good. And so at the end, well, no, I'm going to pick back up with Diggle, and then I'm going to end of episode 2. Something happens with Diggle finds out that he's not really on a recovery mission. He's on something completely different. And basically, one of the fellow soldiers gets killed, and Diggle is going to be blamed for it because they used his gun to shoot him, and it's like, who's going to believe him? Like, the witnesses outside say they saw Diggle do it, and he has to sign over saying, hey, I did it, and which isn't true. He really did it. So that's the predicament that Diggle is going to be in. And then Oliver brings, you know, everyone back to wherever they were. I don't want to say the foundry, but and he lets them know that they're just not working with the Green Arrow. They are actually working with the mayor as well. And so all of them join back on because it's like, okay, like, we see who you are, we see what you're trying to do. And so that actually does help a lot of the trust just in that one moment. So that's going to be it for episode 2. Let's get into episode. Alright, well, not the last, but episode 3 is titled A Matter of Trust. And I'm just going to hit a few quick points in this. I'm not going to go too much into detail about it. But basically, Diggle is in jail. And he actually sees, I'm going to say, a ghost of Floyd Lawton, even though Floyd Lawton is not really there. And the reason why Floyd Lawton, I guess, isn't there well, Floyd Lawton is dead. Let's just go ahead. Floyd Lawton is dead. But, you know, Diggle sees it and he's kind of dealing with that from his past because for so long he hated, you know, he hated Deadshot or Floyd Lawton for killing his brother, and he never really did it. And, you know, I don't know, I feel kind of bad for Diggle having to deal with these demons behind him, because I do think that if he had not killed Andy in season 4, Andy probably would have gone on to kill, or not necessarily kill, but maybe even hurt his family. So I think Diggle may have done the right thing in that sense. But yeah, and Diggle actually feels like he needs to be in jail, which amazes me because, you know, his wife's there. He's saying, like, you know, I need you and your son needs you. Yes, now his son, because again, Barry ran back in time. And instead of baby Sarah, we have baby John. So we have to get used to that. But, you know, Diggle is saying, you know, hey, well, not Diggle, Lila is saying, like, we have a son at home, like, you have to get out of here. We know you didn't do this. And Diggle's like, no, I deserve to be here. I killed Andy. I deserve to be punished for my issues and everything like that, which kind of sucks. I mean, I hope Diggle kind of does find his way out of that rut. But back to the, you know, the recruits. They are now efficiently training. They know who Oliver is. They know him as a mayor. They know all these things. And there's an issue that comes up, I think. Oh, no. Cody Rhodes is in this episode, which actually made me really excited. And he's going to be coming back as a Vertigo dealer. But of course, well, not of course, but they updated the version of Vertigo to Stardust, which makes it even more powerful than it was in season 4. And of course, Stardust, Cody Rhodes, WWE put it together. They couldn't have made it more obvious. And, you know, what's supposed to happen is, you know, Oliver just kind of said let him handle this one. But of course, Wild Dog does not want to listen. So he takes Evelyn with him and they go to look for this guy. And they do find Cody Rhodes and they begin shooting. And, you know, they get into this big fight. And Wild Dog pushes him in what looks like, I don't know, some type of chemical that makes Cody Rhodes' character, I forget his name, but he can't feel his tendons, so he can't get hurt. Which does kind of make things bad in the end, because when Oliver tries to fight him later, he shoots him in the arm with an arrow, and he's just like, and he just moves his shoulder and is like, whatever. Like, I didn't feel it. Like, sucks for you, haha. And so, you know, he kind of goes on that. He still kind of gets on Wild Dog about things like, I told you not to do that. Like, I told you to, you know, to do this. This isn't a game. You have to listen to what I'm telling you. I'm telling you these things for a reason. And it looks like Wild Dog actually gets the message this time. It's like, wait, I didn't mean to kill anybody. You know, that just kind of happened. And I kind of like that, you know, Wild Dog took that route, that route, or that whatever. And he's kind of, you know, it made me feel a little bit better that he kind of realizes, oh, this isn't just what I thought it would be. This isn't fun. This isn't this. This isn't that. But now what's also going on, like, sideline from this Ragman, we later find out his name escapes me. His name is Rory. Bleh. I'm not gonna be able to say it. It's R-O-R-Y, Rory, like Mick Rory from Legends of Tomorrow. And since Felicity kind of finds out he's the last survivor of Haven Rock, and you can just see this look on her face of just, I don't want to say sadness, but it's like she feels guilty. And Curtis notices it, and he literally does the coolest thing. I don't know if I'm able to reenact it on my little desk, but he just comes in and he just goes, you know, you gonna tell me what's going on about this? And, you know, they do kind of talk. It's like you need to tell him before he finds out on his own. And Felicity's kind of running away from him, like, oh, I'd rather have him find out later. Like, he doesn't need to find this stuff out now. Which, in my opinion, he kind of does. I mean, you may have destroyed his home, but the intent wasn't to destroy his home. And I think she kind of struggles with that. So, I mean, at the end of the episode, she does tell him, and you can just kind of see him look like, oh my gosh, like, I'm staring at the person who, you know, like, killed my entire town, basically, except for me. And, you know, that I just want to see how that dynamic is going to change, because I want to know if, you know, what happens. Like, does he get mad at Felicity? Does he try to hurt Felicity? Does he try to hurt Oliver? Does he try to hurt the whole team? Like, how is this going to work? But we have to stay tuned tonight to find that out. And at the very, very end of this episode, Lila just walks in like the boss that she is, in that amazing suit that she has on, and she just goes, Oliver, Diggle's in jail and I need you to break him out. And ends it with that. So on tonight's episode, what we are going to be seeing is Oliver is going to try to break Diggle out of prison, and basically the recruits are like, we're not going to let you do that. And Oliver actually goes like who's going to stop me? Which I find kind of funny, because of course they're going to try to stop him. Which is actually a first. Nobody's ever actually tried to stop Oliver from doing that. And I kind of like that. By the way, if you're wondering what this is, I have tea over here, which, well, last but not the completely last thing is, at the end you see the recruits walking up to the cases, in which you have, I think it was Canary or Black Canary, Laurel, Speedy, Spartan, and of course Green Arrow himself. And it's like you see them walk up there, and it's like, like it's gonna be me. That's gonna be what I'm doing, you know. And it's a very proud moment. It's almost like their final transformation. So we'll have to look forward to tonight to see what goes on. If breaking Diggle out of prison, if it's gonna work or not. But I'm gonna try to do these videos once a week. I'm gonna try. May not work out that way, but I'm gonna try. But that was it for this video, guys. Don't forget to follow me on all social medias. My Instagram is at cc_renee_beauty. And you can follow both of my Facebook pages, CC Renee Beauty and CC Renee Music. And don't forget to subscribe to my main channel, which is CC Renee Music, where I perform and you can see me do all the things that I love with music on that channel. And also, don't forget to go to my website, www.tyra.com/ccrenee, to purchase any of the makeup products that you see in my previous videos. So tune in next time, and I will see you hopefully some other time this week with Arrow Season 5, Episode 4. Bye, guys.